Well, good morning and a very, very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the NASSCOM Game Developer Summit 2010. Today, well, is the first day of the two-day summit. Indian animation industry is finally breaking out to create characters that are born in India, but finding fans abroad. It's time to take Hanuman into the league of Superman, Batman and Spider-Man. Indian animators are taking their productions global with animation characters that are less predictable but more original and not just bits and pieces of Indian mythology. Chhota Bheem and Little Krishna have just set the tone for even more world-class productions to hit the stands. For an audience that has been brought up on the Western animations like Shrek and Finding Nemo, Indian producers are trying to carve their own niche in an evolving consumer base. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now go ahead with the inaugural session, for which could I please call upon Mr. Biren Ghosh, Country Head, Technicolor and Chair, NASSCOM Animation and Gaming Forum, Mr. Rajesh Rao, Founder Dhruva Games, Chair, NASSCOM Gaming Forum, and Mr. Rajiv Vaishnav, Vice President, NASSCOM. Well, could I please call upon Mr. Rajiv Vaishnav, Vice President, NASSCOM, to please inaugurate today's session.
Very good morning, everybody. Welcome to this 8th edition of NASSCOM Animation and Gaming Conclave. 8 years passed, and we have seen a kind of metamorphosis of this event and of the industry. This event in particular is bringing a lot of surprises and a lot of unexpected changes. For example, my colleague Shruti, who is managing this event as a single point of contact, unfortunately had her mother to be hospitalized, and she was out of circulation for a while, and a couple of you might have had some coordination problems. For that, I apologize on behalf of NASSCOM. Mr. Som Mittal, who was to be here this morning, our President NASSCOM. Government of India had organized a meeting on e-governance, and Mr. Sachin Pilot, the Minister, had called the meeting. So at a very short notice, he had to decide that he would not be able to make it here, but to represent the industry in that meeting with the government. We had invited Mrs. Ratna Prabhat, IAS, who is the Principal Secretary IT, Government of Andhra Pradesh. And when I called her up to thank her for accepting our invitation, I came to know that unfortunately she is down with malaria. So she couldn't be here today, but she has requested Mr. Gopi Krishna, who is an IPS officer and he is a Special Secretary IT, to join us. And again, that was a short notice, so he said I won't be able to come at the inauguration time because we were just waiting for him, and he gave a call that he will be coming around 10:30, 11:15. So we'll wait for him, but we will start the proceedings, and as he will come, we'll request him to address us. Well, as we just mentioned, there are a lot of these Indian characters, Alpha, Omega, and Krishna, and Chhota Bheem. I think this is what is the exciting story that is kind of unfolding as far as India is concerned. And we are seeing the confidence that is building in the industry. People are now talking about IP, people are now talking about different business models that we can work with our friends. And as we are going through this journey, this particular event has a very significant importance. That is where it's a meeting of minds, and as I always say, that we started with a session on gaming. That session became a half-day event in one of a couple of years back, and today we are doing a 2-day event as Game Developers event. I think that's a clear indication of where the growth is, where people are excited about and interested. VFX is another unfolding story, and I think India is playing a very, very important role in positioning our talent. So along with we started, I mean, as all of us know, we started on a software journey with cost arbitrage. And NASSCOM had this slogan 20 years ago to tell the customers that you may come for cost, but stay for quality. So the value addition that the Indian professional, Indian mind could bring in, be it software or animation or gaming or VFX, I think that ingenuity is what everybody recognizes. And today, as what we are seeing in the IT industry, that the cost, quality, productivity, security was also there as an add-on when 9/11 happened. But after that, the focus was on innovation and business transformation. The same journey maybe every new emerging sunrise sector will be going through. And India, particularly in the animation and gaming arena, and VFX of course, is moving that league very fast. So we have the project management ability, we have the ability to design, develop, evolve major business models that will suit the requirement of expanding business and growing business. The talent that is available, and I'm so happy when I interact with different state governments. My role in NASSCOM is to manage different regions across the country, and that helps me to connect with the different state governments. And what I'm seeing is that every state government is now trying to put animation, gaming, VFX and comics. I mean, Ashish Kulkarni is here and he has worked on drafting the policy for government of Maharashtra. And then Rajesh and others, Biren, Rajesh and the group has worked with drafting a policy with government of Karnataka. So like that, every government, Tamil Nadu, my colleague is here, Puru, who is working with government of Tamil Nadu, and they are also very keen. Government of Andhra Pradesh themselves said that, look, animation and gaming, when you are having it here, we would want to be around. And we want to talk about how excited we are for attracting companies to come to, Andhra Pradesh. So this is very positive, this is very good that every state is positively competing for the kind of pie that they want to have, the share of pie. And at the same time, we will, as an industry, would bank on the best of the talents that are available. And I can assure you, right from northeast to down south and across the length and breadth of the country, the talent that we have is phenomenal. And that is where we are aspiring to be a kind of a talent hub. The BCG report has said that in 2020, India will have 47 million people in the working group, working age group. So the demographic dividend that India has and that we can offer to the world, I think this is where we will break the barriers of countries and the global talent we will have to evolve, the global curricula we will have to evolve. And these are very exciting times that we are in. We have somebody who is a prodigy as far as gaming is concerned, and when we will listen to him, and I'm sure he won't be able to speak from this podium, he will have to be around there for you guys to see him. That gives an indication of how the talent is kind of coming from different parts of the country where we don't think, and with limited resources. So I think when we listen to such stories and when we understand that, we don't have enough resources, and here we are trying with all the best resources, we say that we can't do this and that. I think what requires this particular industry, what it requires, and all of you know, and that's why you are here, is passion, passion and passion. And we will see an exemplification of passion when we introduce this young kid who is a kind of an inspiration for all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure these 2 days will be very exciting today and tomorrow. The focus of today's event is more from the business point of view of animation and gaming. Parallelly, we are starting the Game Developer Summit, where a lot of exciting stuff is being discussed. We have some phenomenal battery of speakers from overseas and in India, and I'm sure we are going to make this happen in terms of taking India to the next level, and that's the key objective of the forum that we are having, NACFO, NASSCOM Animation and Gaming Forum, where we want all of you to contribute through your suggestions, your inputs and your participation. And I think together we are very confident that we'll make it. So with these words, may I request Biren to please come here and give us some idea about this event, about what NACFO has done over a period of time, and how we are going forward, please.
Thanks a lot. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to NACFO 2010. It's a real pleasure to be here. Does it really seem like only 8 years? I thought it was 10. I think we skipped, it was alternate years in the beginning and then it went on, but I think we've been doing this for the last 10 years, and I can't tell you that every time I come back here to share thoughts with you for the future, it becomes more and more exciting, because so much has remained the same, but so much has changed. And people tell me often that we see the usual suspects at this conference, and I think that's wonderful. But what they also tell me is that they say the most unusual things every time they see them, and I think that's why we're here again and again. So just to kick off with some of you, I know that some of you are new. How many are here for the first time? Can you raise your hands? That's fantastic. That's why we make this happen every year. That's fantastic. Thank you. Okay. So in that case, I'll rewind a little bit and tell you that the vision behind creating this forum is really that we wanted to increase manifold the stature of the business. We actually measure periodically with the NASSCOM report, that is a landmark document created by a lot of people in this room and a lot of people who are not here today, who spend hours together with industry consultants in bringing out a metric. And I think what we get together here from time to time, you'll hear that in the few slides I'm going to share with you, is how do we make these metrics better and better as a geography in which we operate. The 5 or 6 key things that the group got together when we more formally baptized it as NACFO, very simply were: 1, how do we strengthen the brand equity of India? 2, can we partner and create, if you like, the triangle between industry, talent/academia, and governments, both central and state? 3, present, as you will see today and tomorrow, the thought leaders in this industry that come from across the globe and across this country. 4, enlarge the talent pool, because everyone's going to be talking about the fact that it's about talent, showered with a little bit of other stuff like technology and tools and infrastructure and processes. And last but not the least, how do we actually build these communities? And you're going to be hearing from Rajesh and from many others right from the kickoff today, how these communities are becoming individual segments. Last but not least, and because we have characters around us for the first time in such large and bold colors, how do we enable and protect the IP rights for the people that we partner with overseas as clients, but also for things that get developed in our own constituency. So with these few words, I'm going to be moving forward into why we get together here and what is really exciting for me to come back year after year after year. And that is about the insights. I think it's no surprise that all of us who work in a very technical and very creative realm need to zoom out for a time and figure out what are the new understandings of business or industry behavior that are going to be told to, we're going to exchange in a very, very compelling manner through panels, through discussions, through master classes, and everything else that is so much the part of the heady cocktail that makes these 2 days. At the end of the day, I think it's human psychology that drives the economy. And whether it was Obama in India, or whether it is Manmohan Singh in the US, and whether you see any of the other landmark events that take place, it's all about creating the positive mindset. It's about creating the confidence, which basically creates its own multipliers. And I think one of the things that we get together for is to give each other that confidence by sharing the things that we've done over the past year. My own journey, for example, in these 7 or 8 years has been very, very, it's a myriad of different exposures. When I first stood here with you, I ran a 2D studio with about 900 artists who did animation in the classical fashion, and we had 300 trainees in the school. And for the next few years that I came here, I was a producer with a team size of 0, except for myself. And then when I came back another time, I was working with development of IP between Canada and India and other parts of the world.